They say the stars don't care about you, that the universe is a cold accident, a cosmic machine ticking forward without reason. But if that's true, why do we long for meaning so deeply? Why does the question itself haunt us? You wake up each day and move through space like a ghost, seeking something forgotten. Not survival, not comfort, but purpose. It's not written in the sky, not hidden under equations, and yet it whispers from every atom. Could it be that the ache for meaning is itself a signpost, not proof of purpose, but the shadow it casts? Some say the universe is indifferent, that it follows only laws, gravity, entropy, decay. We are stardust, yes, but accidental stardust. Life emerged from chaos, not intention. And if that's true, then purpose is nothing but a story, something the brain invents to protect itself from despair. Like a child drawing meaning in clouds. Beautiful, but imagined. Yet the question returns. Even when denied, it echoes. Why are we here? Why does this matter? A machine doesn't ask questions. Dust doesn't dream. And yet you, a tiny bundle of flesh and nerves, wonder what it all means. Could that yearning be evidence of something deeper? Maybe not of cosmic intention, but of your own? Imagine you've lived your whole life staring at shadows on a wall, never knowing there's a world behind you. This is Plato's cave. What if our reality is just a filtered version of something truer? What if we mistake patterns for purpose? Or worse, miss the real meaning because we're too busy staring at the flickering? In Plato's story, the cave isn't the end, it's the beginning. One person escapes. They see the fire and the world, then the sun. At first, it blinds them. But over time, they learn the truth was never in the shadows. It was behind them all along. So maybe your ache for purpose is not a weakness. Maybe it's the first sign that you're turning around. If everything came from nothing, why is it so ordered? Why does math work? Why do galaxies spiral with symmetry? DNA encode intelligence, and time flow like a river. Some say it's luck, others say design. But maybe, just maybe, the laws themselves hint at something. Not a person in the sky, but a principle behind the veil. Not answers, but a mind-shaped hole in the structure of things. To say there is no purpose is itself a kind of belief, a worldview that wraps around the heart like fog. If nothing matters, why care? Why love? Why create? But the problem is, even those who claim meaninglessness still seek meaning. They still cry at music, whisper dreams at night, hold hands before death. That's the crack in the logic, the echo of something more. Teleology, the idea that everything has an end, a goal. That acorns become oaks, rivers flow to oceans, and life moves toward something. Could the universe itself be becoming something? Not finished yet, but unfolding? You are not just in the story. You might be the sentence, the word that reveals the plot. Critics say we just insert God, or we don't understand. Lightning, God. Plague, God. Purpose, God. But maybe we got it backward. Maybe the search for purpose is not filling gaps, it's following footprints. Not superstition, but intuition. Like the way art points to an artist, even if you've never seen their face. In the stillness of space, we project our fears, but also our hope. Some hear silence and call it emptiness. Others hear the beginning of a song. Purpose might not shout. It might not arrive in a burning bush or booming voice. It may whisper, in sunsets, in kindness, in curiosity. You are not born knowing the ending, but you were born asking. And that, maybe, is where purpose begins. Why does the universe allow for life at all? Why is gravity not too strong? The atoms not too unstable? The laws not too chaotic? It's as if the universe was fine-tuned, not just for existence, but for observers. You, me, the ones asking the question. Some call it coincidence, others design. But maybe it's an invitation. Even in entropy, there's elegance. Snowflakes fall with geometry, storms spiral like galaxies. And inside the brain of a newborn child, patterns bloom. Chaos theory teaches us that disorder contains hidden structure. So if even disorder holds design, what does that say about the universe itself? There's a strange ache in the human spirit, a longing for meaning, for connection, for home. Why would evolution produce beings that hunger for something that doesn't exist? Unless the hunger points to something real, like thirst points to water, like wings assume air. Even if the universe has no grand script, could you still write your own chapter? Viktor Frankl once said, "Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose." Maybe it's not about discovering purpose, but creating it, planting it, becoming it. So what if the universe is less a machine and more a poem? Less a random accident and more a question asking for a response? What if the cosmos doesn't declare purpose, but offers it and waits, not for understanding, but for wonder? In the silence of space, there's no sound, but within us, there's a voice that won't stop asking, "Why am I here?" This whisper doesn't come from the stars, it comes from within, and perhaps that inner voice is the only place the universe becomes self-aware. Some believe the universe was built like a clock, perfect, distant, unfeeling. Others think it dreams through us. Each moment we love, cry, or create, it awakens. Which is it? A cold machine? Or a divine imagination? Or maybe both are masks we place on what we can't grasp. Everything fades, stars die, empires fall. Even the sun will go out someday. Does that make life meaningless? Or does it make meaning even more precious? Not because it lasts forever, but because it happens at all. Perhaps purpose doesn't need to be eternal to be real. If the universe is indifferent, why does love feel so necessary? Why do we risk pain to connect, to care, to stay? Maybe love isn't just chemistry. Maybe it's the fingerprint of purpose, etched into every soul brave enough to reach for another. There comes a moment when the searching quiets, not because the questions are answered, but because we've learned to live them. In the stillness, we find something strange. Peace, not from knowing the purpose, but from walking with it, even in the dark. When we ask about the universe's purpose, we're also asking, what is my place in all of this? But what if the universe is a mirror, and purpose isn't out there to be found, but within, to be remembered? You were born empty. You were born wondering. That's the clue. We long for meaning, but maybe meaning isn't given. Maybe it's created, like ink flowing from a pen. And you are the pen. Each choice, each act of kindness, each moment of awe, it writes something into the story of the universe that wasn't there before. Ancient philosophers once believed the planets made music, a harmony too vast and perfect for our ears. Maybe purpose is like that, not always visible, not always loud, but present, like background music that makes sense only when we learn how to listen. Some questions don't die, they evolve. What is the purpose of the universe? Is not just a question we ask once, it's one we live, again and again. Every time we get up, forgive, begin again. The question doesn't demand an answer, it demands a life. Maybe purpose isn't a destination, maybe it's a pilgrimage. A journey made sacred not by what we find, but by the courage to walk and the grace to wonder. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are becoming. We search for cosmic purpose in galaxies, but it often hides in small, ordinary acts. Listening when someone's breaking. Choosing gentleness when anger tempts. These are not random. They ripple across eternity. Purpose isn't always grand. Sometimes it's quiet. You don't have to invent purpose from scratch. You can align. Like a sail catching wind, your soul can tune to what's already flowing. Love, truth, awe. When you stop resisting and start responding, you stop drifting. You begin to move with meaning. Others are searching too. And when your life reflects peace, courage, hope, they remember. Maybe your role is not to solve the whole puzzle, but to hold a single piece faithfully. That is enough. If the universe whispers, you must choose whether to respond. You can sleepwalk through existence or awaken. Purpose doesn't force itself upon you. It waits patiently for your yes. A yes that is whispered through your actions, not just your words. You were born in a universe vast and mysterious, and yet capable of holding your voice. If there is no fixed meaning, and the miracle is this, you get to make one. Not alone, but together. One day, choice by choice, we may yet make the cosmos sing. That ache inside, the one that longs for meaning, it's not weakness, it's a compass. The same ache has driven saints to serve, scientists to ask, and poets to weep over stars. Don't silence it. Follow it. A question unanswered is not failure. It's a beginning. The most meaningful lives are not those with answers, but those who dare to live the question. So ask, again and again, then walk into the silence that follows. You may feel insignificant, a speck in the vast night, but the stars themselves are just specks, burning faithfully. You don't need to light the whole sky, just don't go out. Keep glowing. Each sunrise is not just a new day, it's an invitation to listen deeper, to care more, to shape your life like a prayer. The universe may not shout its purpose, but it whispers to those still enough to hear. Now that you've looked inward and upward, the question turns back to you. What will you do with your breath, your hours? If there's a chance your life echoes into eternity, what sound will you choose to make? You can't unsee the stars once you've stared long enough. You can't unask the question once it's carved itself into your chest. Awareness is a gift and a burden. You now carry a light that both warms and burns. But that's the cost of being awake. Most of the world sleepwalks through existence, numbed by noise and routine. You've seen the veil tremble. You've glimpsed that there may be something more, or nothing at all. That glimpse changes you. It demands a response. You don't need to claim certainty. That's the trap. Purpose doesn't always come with a trumpet sound or heavenly voice. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's trembling. Sacred doubt is still holy. And in that doubt, you keep walking. You keep seeking, not because you're lost, but because you honor the mystery. Faith is not the absence of questions. It's the courage to carry them through fire, through silence, through nights when even the stars go quiet. What if your very search gives permission for others to search too? What if your small step toward meaning becomes the whisper someone else needed? You're not alone in this wondering. The human soul is a course, and sometimes your voice may be the only one someone else can hear in their darkness. Your vulnerability might be someone's rope. Your question might be their path. We think purpose is found like treasure, but often it's crafted like pottery, shaped by repetition, cracks, and fire. You wake up, breathe deeply, help someone, create something, love honestly. That's how you build meaning. Brick by invisible brick. Not all who seek find answers, but all who seek build a life worth living. Maybe the universe doesn't hand out blueprints. Maybe it offers invitations. Quiet ones woven into the patterns of your longings, your heartbreaks, your joy. This ... is your invitation. Not to solve the cosmos, but to live like it matters. To live like your breath is part of something vast and fragile and holy. Don't wait for certainty. Begin anyway. Maybe the universe won't speak to us in thunder, Maybe it never has. Maybe it whispers, not in words, but in longings. A sunset that stops you. A song that makes you weep. The warmth of another soul who sees you. These are not proofs, but they're not nothing. They are echoes. And sometimes, that's enough to keep walking. You are not a cosmic accident, not a misplaced breath in the void. Whatever placed you here, whether chance or design, has made something unrepeatable. Your joys, your scars, your questions, they belong. You belong. And if the universe feels silent, perhaps it's waiting for your voice to echo back. So what if there's no final answer written in the stars? What if the answer is in how you live while searching? In kindness, you offer without reason. In courage to create, knowing it may be lost. In love that makes no sense, but changes everything. Meaning isn't just something we find, it's something we give. If you're still searching, good. That means your soul is still alive. May your questions grow deep roots. May your doubts teach compassion. May your longing turn into art, friendship, laughter, quiet strength. And may you come to see you are always walking on holy ground, even when it felt like silence. This isn't the end. It's the first breath of another question. If this journey stirred something in you, don't let it fade. Keep seeking, keep asking, and when you're ready, we'll be here again, waiting in the shadows of fog, whispering into the silence. What if there's more?